Good day and welcome. That is to the Saturday show. Today is going to be an episode of action. I'm Jesse Jackson Kauraithau. Will be your host for today. But first, today we have to start with that is the NSSR games that has been happening. Let's see the highlights.
Hello viewers and welcome to this highlights package for the match involving Windhoek Gymnasium and Windhoek High School. Here the teams are taking to the field. Windhoek High School following on the footsteps of Windhoek Gymnasium in red. And the action started with a penalty by Ignatius Kadova on behalf of Windhoek High School, and then John Daniel Menkes hit back for Windhoek Gym. Windhoek High School on the attack, and Sergio Steenkamp touching down for the first try on behalf of Windhoek High School. And also adding Kotowa adds the conversion, and here comes Windhoek Gymnasium. Captain Quinn Ellis touching down for try in the 12th minute. J.D. Menkes added the conversion, and at that stage the scores was leveled 10-10. Then some good play there, solid attack, and then Jaden Ox strong drive there, and touchdown for another try in the 16th minute on behalf of Windhoek Gymnasium. The conversion by J.D. Menkes not added. Once again a line out, strong maul, touchdown, and a try for Windhoek Gymnasium. And here we see Windhoek High School on the attack. Some injuries along the way, and it's a Windhoek Gymnasium that had to leave the field there. Strong drive and well connect and well defense, but eventually the dam wall burst and McRae touched down in the 20th minute for a try. Kodowa added the kick, and then in the 30th minute Menkes added the penalty, making the score 23-17 on behalf of Windhoek Gymnasium. And the halftime score 23-20 on in favor of Windhoek Gymnasium. When play resumed, Kodowa was at it again. Good build up, and there we have a try saving tackle orchestrated by Windhoek Gymnasium. Quick touch there, and Windhoek High scores another try. Ignatius Kadova, and conversion is added, pushing the score up to 27. And here we have Windhoek Gymnasium on the attack. Massive tackle there, and this will eventually result in a penalty try being awarded and a yellow card issued. The score was 30-27 at that stage of the match, and there we have a wonderful run and a equally wonderful tackle. And Windhoek High on the attack here, and Keaton Klaassen sliding over there for another try on behalf of Windhoek High, pushing the score up to 37 points for Windhoek High. And then look at that cross kick, the gathering, and then the pass, and Xavier Bampton crashing over for another try. And the final score, as we are waiting another strong run. Yes, Xavier Bampton once again for the final try in the match. He made it 2 tries in quick succession. And VIS fans are celebrating this win. The conversion added. Another attack there, fizzling out, and that concludes the match highlights with the final score 30 for Windhoek Gymnasium and 44 points on behalf of Windhoek High School.
That was a tough one to take for Windhoek Gymnasium. Obviously, Windhoek High School doing the deal there. And obviously, it's going to be a day like that today. We have to see what's more is coming up. We still have, that is the big one, that is the Under-19 A games between Windhoek High School and Windhoek Gymnasiums. I don't think you have to miss that one because it is going to be the biggest one of the season so far. These two teams have battled, and in order to come there, they have made sure that they progress in terms of every match, and they are coming to the last man standing, and that's going to be a tough one. You guys have to be there in order to witness that. And of course, the Sport Rap Show NTV Live will bring that from the comfort of your homes. But before we go to that, before we speak about that, there's still a lot to speak about. Let's speak about the NSSR highlights of yesterday as well, because this tournament continues. It is the Standard Bank ones, courtesy of Standard Bank, and they are making sure that they bring that, and the NTV team, the sport team, is making sure that you have this from the comfort of your home.
Welcome to our highlights package of this Standard Bank Under-19 Super League plate final between PSG Pro Ed and OK Moria at the Hagi Geingob Stadium today. So these teams that were both eliminated in the semi-final, looking to finish off their season on a high. So we started off with this attack by Moria. Breakaway by the 13th center Bertus Narip, finding his way to run clear and score under the post. The first try of the match on the side of Moria. He converted his own kick. Mogan Jarman, he was a handful at fly-off all match for Pro Ed. The whistle had gone. That was not the try, but it shown his ability. This move came finished with a try by Moria flanker Connor Burmeister-Nel, and here we saw immediately after that Mogan Jarman breaking clear and piercing the gap and scoring a try for Pro Ed, which made the score to be 12 points for Moria and 10 points for Pro Ed at that stage. And then just before halftime, This was the captain of Moria, the center Janu Erasmus, breaking clear and going through to score under the post for a try which Bertus Narib converted to make the halftime score 19 for Pro Ed and 10 points for Pro Ed Academy. So there we saw the hooker, De Wet Don Sneering, just after halftime, scoring the first points for Pro Ed after an extended period of pressure. Bertus Narib added 3 points with a penalty for Moria. To extend their lead to 22-15. So yeah, a great try on the side of Pro Ed, and Mark Holloway going through to round off after receiving the last pass from his captain Dayton Saunders. Well played by Pro Ed. Janu Erasmus there on the attack as the captain for Moria. Then a period of play where they were on the try line for about 6 or 7 minutes before finally managing to score this try. And the number 14, Jazario Drotsky, rounding off the try easily eventually after they had worked very hard for 7 minutes. They were over the try line twice for tries that were not awarded. And then this was one of the last periods of play. Mogan Jarman finding the inside pass to Givaldo Pinar, and that was the last try on the side of Pro Ed, but the match was already away from them by that stage, losing the match by 5 points, 32-27. And so our colleague Otis Daniels, he spoke afterwards with the two captains.
Hoe ging deur julle? Hoe voel jy?
Ek is baie teleurgesteld. Ek het eers gedink ons moes in die Superliga final wees om met 'n punt te verloor teen die wat nou mense reigning champions. Ja, nou hier toe kom nog 4de toe kom ook, maar bietjie laag.
Sou jy sê geel kaart Morgan?
Ja, 'n groot game gehad. Ek moes skop. Ek kan nie skop nie. So het 'n groot verskil gemaak en
sien jy druk met die skoppe en sê
en ons binne senter is ook nie gespeel vandag hier. Maar ja, geen verskoning sê alle krediet aan Montreal het gespeel met hart. Daai ouens is baie harde ook.
Sê vir my waan toe hier vanaf vir julle.
Ek sou klaar met my rugby eers, so ek train nou eers bietjie af. Ek dink ek verdien dit. En dan net sterkte vir my span wat ook al hulle volgende jaar doen. Ek sal miskien help coach en sulke goed, so ek's nog steeds daar.
Sê vir my wat sal jy vir die wenners wil sê?
Baie geluk boys, julle verdien dit. Alle respek vir julle, alles boys. Alles wat mooi is.
Dankie en sterkte. Sê. Janu Erasmus, die kaptein van die wenspan, hoe voel dit?
Dit voel baie great. Ek love die gevoel. Ek is baie trots met manne. Beste gevoel hierdie jaar ooit.
Wat sê jy sê wat het vir julle die wen gebring?
Ek dink ons platlande manne is hard. En ons speel solid harde rugby en ek dink dit het ons gehelp.
Wat sal jy vir julle opponente wil sê?
Baie dankie dat hulle van Swakop af gekom het. Ons speel al hierdie hele jaar en hulle is altyd harde rugby. En baie dankie aan hulle.
Sê vir my, wat beteken hierdie wen vir julle?
Flip en baie. Die manne werk hard die hele jaar van Januarie af. Dit is ons doel en ons het dit bereik. Dit beteken baie.
Wel gedaan man. Ja, sê.
Obviously, it has been an incredible journey for all the teams that made it so far. Eventually, there has to be a winner, and the winner was decided. That was yesterday, and of course, it was not an easy pill to take for some of the teams, but it had to happen in order for some winner to be actually assured, and that's the biggest thing. Let's not forget today there is one of the biggest finals in school history, and that is between Windhoek Gymnasium and Windhoek High School. All is set and it's crunch time at the NSSR Under 19 final, and it is going to be an emphatic one. I promise you, these teams have been at each other's throats for a while, and there's nothing more and there's nothing less that can prove that I am the boss of the game, and that will be today. So definitely it is going to be a very, very, very difficult one for the both of teams, because they have been at each other's throats for a while. Of course, we do also expect the Brave Warriors of Namibia will play today and as well. So let's look at the fixtures and around what is happening in today's terms. And you can see there Brave Warriors tackling the Cameroonians. Obviously one of the games that will be anticipated, because it is an African Cup of Nations qualifiers, and these two teams played against each other before in the last qualifiers, where Namibia emerged victorious 2-1 with a 1-all draw that managed them to book a place that was at the Côte d'Ivoire in 2024, where they played until the round of 16. So if you can see the fixtures there, it is going to be a very, very intense day, a sportive day that is actually filled with brilliance and excellence. And the Sport Rap Show will be here with you to make sure that everything that is happening is covered. We do have the F&B Oshi Havera that already started yesterday. It is still going to be an immense competition until Sunday. The City Dash will be coming up. It's a lot to speak about, and of course, let's see, but all eyes will be at the Hagegeinkop Stadium for the NSSR game, and that's going to be a big one between Windhoek Gymnasium and the Windhoek High School. Obviously, it's the King Prize Windhoek Gymnasium. Once again, they will clash in the highly powerhouses of the Namibia Secondary School's top flight. Will reignite their thrilling rivalry, and the last year's dramatic 34-34 draw. There is no doubt that the stakes are once again pretty much high. 12 months ago, Gymnasium were forced to launch a determined fight back after a scrum half, Denver Beekers, was removed from the equation on the day, and it was indeed a very terrible one for them, with the first half red card for 2 technical offenses shortly after having served 10 minutes in the bin. The Lions trailed 15-24 at halftime against a typically sleek Windhoek High School attack, but after 70 minutes of intense rugby, the result was a 34-34 draw with 4 tries. Obviously, I witnessed that one and it was immense. Since then, the bylaws have been amended, which dictated that the definitive winner, as the rule, have been updated to ensure one team lifts the trophy with extra time applied. And before their tie-break opinions, Windhoek High School and Windhoek Gymnasium are once again closely matched, as their 22-21 result in favor of home side at the Vegkop Stadium 3 weekends ago demonstrated. This time, the enterprising Kudu Bulls teams placed kickers at an off day, as they were behind 3-9 at halftime and narrowly missed match line conversion. Obviously, a result and an attempt by Gymnasium fly half Waldre of the final play could easily have swung the result the opposite way for the final, but it was indeed not going to happen. And of course, that is the past, and a big past of as well. And as I said, as I alluded to earlier, the NTV team will bring that match to you live. It's definitely going to be one that you don't have to cleanse even an eye or blink, because it's going to be a big one. It is going to be one of the biggest match in school's history. It is going to be written in history. So definitely you don't have to move away, because that game will come later on, and it is I tell you, it's going to be one of the best matches of the season, because I can anticipate the last times these two teams played. It was actually one of the matches of the season as well. And again, they're at each other's throats. How do you separate these two? It's a lion against a lion. Obviously, one is named Takuru, but we know that they are lions because these guys fight till the end. They try everything and they try it with all their hearts. So let's wait and see what is going to happen there. It is indeed going to be one of the biggest ones, as I said here. Also today, the Brave Warriors are going to play, and it is a big one there in Cameroon. One of the biggest ones. Namibia's Brave Warriors begin their opening campaign of the AFCON qualifiers against Cameroon on Saturday at the Stade Raoundé Adjia in Garoua, Cameroon at 1800 hours. Colin Benjamins will be hoping for a repeat of what they did when they faced the Cameroonians last time around in the African qualifiers group stages. Cameroonian football has been so far shrouded with controversy as the senior team members and the association senior officials are at loggerheads over the way things are being done at the top. This factor might not play into our hands because Cameroon are still a talented nation that has many good players. My team will go into the match ready to fight and make sure that we come away with something at a very difficult venue. There has been injury concerns in the camp, but I must also say that the players we have at our disposal have whatever it takes to give Cameroon a strong, challenging match. That was the words of Brave Warriors coach Colin Benjamin. Namibia and Cameroon was pitted in the same group the last time at the AFCON qualifiers took place, with both teams managing to book their spot at the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations that was played at the Côte d'Ivoire. Namibia, however, had the better head-to-head against Cameroon during the 2023 qualifiers after beating the West Africans 2-1 as well as a 1-1 draw in the qualifiers. Now I'm sure you can bet your money on any team here. The controversies that happened to the Cameroonian side over the days has obviously made Namibia even stronger. But as Colin Benjamin said, that is a West African team that is very talented, of course. You can't write them off at any other day. Peter Shalulile, Dion Horto, who has been shining in the past few days for Orlando Pirates, will be one of the key men the most of the people will be expecting. I don't know how and who will I be expecting, or what result can we expect from that side, but it's definitely going to be a very tough match, and anything can happen in that one. Of course, they know that if one team here between Cameroon and Namibia tops the group at the early stages, it will be first blood indeed. First blood will be drawn in that one, and they will know that if I messed up here, I'm going down, and there is no team between these two that would want to mess up. Of course, we do have the Zimbabweans also in this group, and that is Apana Pache, Apana Kunyumba, that is the Kenyans. They will also be in this one, which is obviously going to make sure that they return to football after a lengthy period where they were suspended for a lot of stuff. So I don't think that this group is going to be easy for Namibia or either of the teams or Cameroon. It is going to be a fight that all of them need to progress. And now let's speak of something different, of course. Paralympics, we have our heroes that have been broken before, that have endured a lot of stuff in their life, and they are still making sure that they make the nation proud, and there's nothing that you can do but admire Lahia Ishitile, emphatically put aside the disappointing of not qualifying for the 2011 100-meter semi-final earlier this week at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. The visually impaired Namibian sprinter established a lightning fast new African record in the T12 200 meters during the qualifying rounds, and that was one of the best that we have seen. Alongside her sprint, that was guide Sam Shimanda, Ishitile had a particular good start in the rain-soaked Stade France Stadium and almost won the race in 24:82 seconds. Only the winner in her round, Chuang Liu from China, with 24:77 seconds, achieved a faster time than the Namibian. She will face Liu Jerusa, and that was obviously tonight at the Saturday, and it's going to be crunch time for her. Obviously, we do expect something very special from her. She's one of the most entertaining and calm. She does have everything she possesses in terms of a para-athlete, in terms of an athlete. She makes sure that whatever she is doing, it's to perfection. And that's what the guide, Sam Shimanda, let's not leave the unsung heroes of this one. And obviously, Sam Shimanda is one of them, the person that has been guiding these athletes through this, and they have made sure that they can actually perform to the best of their abilities, and there's nothing that you can't do without those teams. Now to something different, we move on, and it is going to be about boxing. Obviously, we know that Energy Philippos Ngitumbwa, this story was done throughout the week. It is one of the stories that was making headlines. Will face the Japanese Yokonyori Unguni for the International Super Bantamweight title on 13 October in Yokohama, Japan. During a press briefing today that was all the week in Windhoek, hosted by the MTC Nesta Sunshine, Tobias Boxing and Fitness, co-sponsored by the PST Bet promoter, Nesta Tobias announced that the team will depart to Japan. Obviously, there was something big about this one. You know that Energy Gitumbwa was one of the prospects of the boxing ring, and he has obviously fought a lot of times, winning a lot of fights, but he had his disappointing time when he lost, obviously, the fight that was going to make him, or was to pave his way to be a world champion. That's what happens in boxing. Obviously, something that you can't take away from the people is that they still continue to maintain the fighting spirit, and the MTC Nesta Sunshine Boxing and Fitness Academy Promotions has always made sure that they go head to head, they fight, and they do that. Obviously, let's do something different now, and that is, there is something going to happen, and that's tomorrow, the Nedbank City Dash. It's going to be one of the big ones of the weekend, as well as we pipeline for big events. And the fourth edition of the Nedbank City Dash will take place this Sunday at the Zoo Park along Independence Avenue in Windhoek. The City Dash has fast become a beloved running event which fosters a spirit of community and fitness among participants of all ages and abilities. The event offers multiple race categories, including a 5 and 10 kilometer for fun run or walk, a 10 kilometer elite run, ensuring that there is something for everyone. The elite competition starts, that is, at 7:30. I hope you will have your boots strapped up there with the first race, while the 5 kilometer and the 10 kilometer fun runners and walkers will take the road an hour late. Some good prize money will be up for grabs for this one, as 3 of the top athletes that are categories are 10 elite women and men elite under 18 women and men wheelchair racers, visually impaired runners, schools, running clubs and federations. The routes from the Zoo Park runners will head to the south of the Osman Platz around Snyman Circle before they head back up Independence Avenue, passing Zoo Park to continue further north. The turnaround for the 5-kilometer race is indicated by a turnaround sign close to the engine service station on the right-hand side. The 10-kilometer runners will continue to Simon de Vet Bridge around the circle close to the fire department. To tackle the home stretch back to the Zoo Park, the Nedbank campus, registration and the races was taking place. That was obviously today from the 10 hours and to 1500 hours at the Nedbank campus center and at the corner of Fidel Castro and Reverend Michael Scott Street. That's something big, guys. I hope you have your boots and everything strapped up. Obviously, the NTV team will be there. Obviously, not that live as you wanted them to be, but they will still bring that to you. The highlights will be there. Everything will be there. So you have to anticipate that in the coming few days in order for your that was not at home or at the game to see that this is what happened. Eventually, if we speak of the past and we speak of history, there is one of the biggest one of the amazing stuff or gestures that was done by the sporting circles, and that is the Dr. Hage Geingob Cup. The late man, may his soul rest in peace. Everyone feels like they have still to put him in remembrance. But this tournament will be the last of the remembrance or the appreciation of what is always going to be the Dr. Hage Geingob Cup. The 10th and final edition of the Dr. Hage Geingob Cup is set to take place on 19 October at the Independence Stadium in Windhoek. Since its inception in 2014, the tournament has grown to become a symbol of national pride and unity, and the last edition promises to be a memorable event. As I said earlier, Namibia Breweries Limited has been a key partner throughout this journey. Wilda Fawn Lears, NBL's finance director, said NBL has always been proud to be part of this journey from the beginning in 2014. And I tell you, I was at the Hage Geingob some years before, and this time around, guess which teams will be playing against each other? That is Echoke, Chula Chula, and African Stars. Obviously, the league winning team and the previous winners of the Dr. Hage Geingob Stadium will once again clash, and this time around, it will be 300,000 up for grabs, and it is big money as teams are preparing to start the season at the well of. Obviously, we know that Namibian football is suffering, so a 300,000, I am sure, is going to make or change the life of a team there. There is no doubt about that. Speaking of no doubt as well, the women's soccer will be involved in this one, and we know, of course, which team do we speak about. If we speak about the women's soccer, that is the Commerce Nampol team that's taking on the Girls and Goals, and obviously they are going to take a 200,000 as winners for that one. Obviously, between the two teams, people will be compensated for their losses because they made it so far, so there will be still money that's going to be given to the teams that loses on that day. We hope this day around no cans will be thrown. We hope that the fans will be behaved to the best of their capabilities, but the rivalry always instigates something. Echoke Chula Chula just promoted, and that was last season. Coming into that season, they actually made sure that they stamped their authority in terms of their position of fans and everything. African Stars, of course, we know it is a team that has always been supported by many. And now we speak of some boxing as well that is coming up, and that is the AC Boxing Promotions Bonanza that is going to take place. Of course, it is going to be a big one as well. AC likes to wine and dine, and obviously he does that, and that's how he arranges his boxing matches. So we'll see how it is going to happen at the AC Boxing Promotions fight, because we all expect that the special one, a boy that AC himself races from the ground, will actually be able to dominate and fill in the gap that Namibians have actually been failing over the past few months and past few times. It has been difficult against international opponents. We hope that they are going to make sure that this time around they will put it through. Once again, let me show you the fixtures of what is happening at this weekend, which is going to be a very busy weekend, which began yesterday. Let's see there, as you can see close up to your screen, they will be in the Cameroon, and obviously it's not going to be one of those easy matches because everyone has to push to win, but we expect one of the biggest ones at that time. But obviously, let's not forget one of the attractions of this weekend, one of the attractions that you don't have to miss out at this time around will be the NSSR game, the NSSR clash between, that is the Windhoek High School and that is the Windhoek Gymnasium. I don't know, have you seen the rivalry between those teams? Have you seen how they do it on the field? Have you seen even the build-up towards this one? There's nothing special as that in school sports history. I can tell you, we have seen a lot of school sports in terms of football and stuff, but that rugby game holds a special place in the hearts of the entire school, in the hearts of the entire fans that are outside, that are watching. And guys, how do you miss such a final? It is going to be very big. It is going to be gigantic. I don't know, where will you be if you are not going to sit at your home and watching this match live on our TV stations, because we can't miss this one. It's one of the biggest ones of this season. Okay, before we go to something further right now, I want to say that obviously the AC Boxing Promotions, as they go, they always have their staff. Let me show you some footage from the past.
Welcome to this very important press conference. As you know, we have announced the WBA Championship fight taking place September 14 at the Roman Catholic Hall. So today we're just here to give you an update on what has been going on, and also a few changes that we have on the card, and of course how the preparation went since we started working for this fight for the past 2 months, and of course how we have been also pushing, trying to raise enough funds to make sure that we host a very successful event. So first of all, I just want to thank all the boxers for being on time, and also for the boxers that commit to be part of this event. And also we have a very special announcement that we welcome Charles Shilima on AC Boxing Promotion on a 1-year contract. Of course, we're going to work with him hand in hand, giving him his first fight September 14, and also to take his career to the next level. As you know, he's a very good, high-rated boxer. He's been there, he fought for the WBO, and I'm sure it should be vacant by now, because he had a fight in Albania where he lost. Now we're just trying to bring him back to make sure that we get him back on the track. And we have Mr. Patrick here. He's an official from the WBA. He's a representative for Mr. Sten today. Just to also say a few things about the WBA, because he will be one of the officials. And we have Flight Nangolo, the contender number 1 for the vacant title. We have Afeni Geshia, who is fighting for the national title, up against Abel from Bulero Boxing Club. And we have Charles here on my left hand side, and Lunga, who is his trainer. And we have Ruan Respel, Robin Darero, Pacman Pacquiao, and the medias. So the most important thing also is also to announce our sponsorship that we got from rival boxing gears in Las Vegas, Nevada for the boxing equipment, actually the gloves that we're going to use for the event. As we all know, it's quite difficult to get those type of gloves. Normally we struggle to buy those gloves and then we don't really get the better quality like any other promoters. And you see safety come first, and we also make sure that we have to elevate the level of boxing in Namibia to make sure that we use the proper glove for those type of events, especially professional boxing. And the boxing have rules when you have a championship fight. So there should be 2 pairs that are all new for both camps. Just in case one of the pair get damaged during the fight, you must be able to replace it at the same time because it's already supervised and approved by the championship committee. So that's why this is a very great honor for me, and I'm so happy to have rival boxing on board. And this is also not only going to be the last one. So we are planning to do a lot of things with rival boxing, especially in Africa. Yeah, so that's actually was most topic for this press conference. I don't really have a lot to say. It's also just to make sure that everybody must be aware of this fight. The fight is taking place on the 14th of September at the Roman Catholic. The tickets are going for $200 million for general, and then you have $500 million for VIP, and a table seating 10 people for $15,000 million. The reason why we always do this type of event like Boxing Time is because this is the way to raise funds, because AC Boxing Promotion, we actually don't have a sponsor. As you can see, those banners you see, those are companies that already purchased their tables. So meaning once you purchase a table for 15,000, you become part of the sponsorship of the event. But just also to let you know, everything is actually under control. We have already paid the money in the Boxing Commission. We have already paid the sanction fee for the WBA. We already actually even booked flight tickets for the official coming from South Africa. So the fight is on from my side, even though there's still another approval coming from the board after they go through all the documents. But now I assure you that there's nothing stopping us from doing this fight, because normally funds is always the big problem. But once you have the funds, the managers of the fighters and the trainers and the boxers themselves, they know how to get their paperwork done and to make sure that they qualify or they comply with the boxing control board rules so the fight can take place. Let me give opportunity to Mr. Patrick to say a few things and also to represent the organization that we work for.
Thank you, Ims. On behalf of the World Boxing Association and Mr. Stanley Christodoulou, we would like to thank AC Boxing Promotions and you, especially Ims, for spearheading and initiating this, big event. Mr. Stan, of course, said that at this moment that he will not be able to make it, but he's sending his greetings. I can let you know that from the World Boxing Association, this fight has officially been sanctioned. So on our side, it is on. Mr. Flynn Nangolo and from Mr. Peter Bambeni from Zimbabwe, who is really familiar with Namibia sporting soil, so it's definitely going to be a fight against experience and youth. In that same breath, I would also like to mention that with you being the brother of Ims Moses, who was the world champion back in 2009. Paulus Moses, Paulus the Hitman Moses. So you two are brothers, and he indeed became a WBA world champion back in the day. So Flame just told me earlier that you are his uncle, and we believe that you can take this journey with him also with the WBA in order for him to become world champion as well. And also to do like your brother, defend that world title. So thank you very much from the WBA side. That's it from my side. Thank you.
You know what is special about all this is the fact that Ims Moses, the brother of Paulus Hitman Moses, has always trusted in this boy, the special one. He feels like this boy is going to be a great star. Let's not call him a boy anymore. Definitely, he has become a man. I don't want to be punched on the street if I go home right now because I called him a boy. Definitely, he is one of the boxers that has a skill and talent. We just hope that he is going to make it and make his dream possible, because what he has lived, what he has eaten, what he has bathed was boxing all his life. He wanted to do that in his entire life, and that's the special one. We call him the special one for something, and we hope that name is going to live up to its expectations. The only thing missing from him will be the world title, but the gateway to that one will be on the 14th of September at the Roman Catholic Hall. Tickets will be available for 200 VIP, $50 VVIP, and as well as a table that will cost 15,000 Namibian dollars for 20 people. Of course, we hope that everyone will make it in their numbers to witness one of the special matches from a special kit. Let's speak of something very different from special now. I'm sure a lot of people have been complaining about it, and that is the Premier League, the Namibian Premier League, which is obviously, and the Namibia Football Association, that has not been convincing at all. The NFA in the football politics are really killing everything that people are hoping is going to happen in the next seasons. That is, the Namibia Premier Football League season is not likely to start on the 21 September, as communicated to the clubs earlier on. Alleged loopholes have been cited by various football clubs, including the lack of a sponsor. SportRep understands that the clubs have already vowed to drag their feet on kicking a ball. Their demands are, if their demands are not met, they will definitely not kick a ball, and obviously there is so much to do there. The other pressing issue that will potentially delay the start of the league is that it is alleged that the Football Association has failed to sign any agreement with a sponsor to start the league on time. It has also surfaced that the internal communications within the associations are now planning to start the league at the end of October. Wow, this is contrary to the football season, which has already begun in various countries, while many feel the Namibian football will once again go through the same dry and dark period they did when football came to a standstill about 3 years ago. Dep Marine Namibia sponsored the league the last 2 seasons after Diamond Company had struck a deal with the FIFA Normalization Committee that was responsible for administering football following the collapse of the previous NFA administration. Their sponsorship conditions was, however, on a 1-year term with an option to extend, which enabled the 2023-24 season to be played as well. It is, however, alleged that the NFA officials have been in talks with the sponsors, that is from Namibia Breweries Limited, but as things stand, it is alleged that none of the sponsorship negotiations are ready to yield the desired outcome yet, which was also to start the football season. Frustration is building everywhere. And I can tell you that with the frustrations that is building, the NFA has continued to disappoint the people that believed in it. That is not my words, that's the words of the fans, the football fanatics, people around football circles that feels that the NFA is continuing to disappoint in terms of their administration, in terms of how they do stuff. We have seen columns right, left, and center that has been going on. What are we going to do to revive and restore Namibian football? That's what everyone is expecting. Many of them have said that commercializing the game in order to make it more interesting will be the key. The teams and the clubs have to look additional sponsorship behind closed doors. They have to source whatever it is, and sometimes not in terms of money, but in terms of in terms of petrol, in terms of what they can do in order to survive a full season, because everyone knows that the grant that they get from the Namibia Football Association is not enough, and that has prompted several clubs or many clubs in the Premier League to try and want to become an independent league. Obviously, this happened in the past before, where the NPL had a BOG, that is the Board of Governors of the league, on an independence level. And that's what some of the club members or owners are demanding for. They feel that the NFA is being run by a group or a solo person that is being pushed by a group to run the NFA, and obviously they feel that the executive of the NFA are not literally the people that have the interest of the club at heart, because most of them do not own a club or are not in a membership of a club but own regional teams. That has been the complaint that we have been hearing for a while now, and definitely it is going to be something that we are going to anticipate in terms of how is the fight going to be, in terms of how everything is going to turn out. We just hope that none of this stuff are going to put the football in disrepute as it did in the past. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. A lot of families, over 422, that was footballers and their families, were affected by the term when football came to a standstill. When a normalization came to administer the Namibian football, things already started to gel, but that was after a lot of damage was done. Lest not we forget that we still do not have the stadiums fit enough for the team to play here. We are playing in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, against some of the biggest teams on the African continent, but somebody that cannot afford a train ticket, somebody that cannot afford a plane ticket, somebody that cannot afford to drive to South Africa or wherever to watch the team will not be able to see the guys shine, and we hope that they are going to make it against all odds, that is to the Africa Cup of Nations, as they did to the Côte d'Ivoire. I was there, I've seen it all. Thank you to the NMH team that made that possible. Of course, we managed to see how football was being played. But however, the Football Association in itself, as everyone says, needs to fix itself in order to make sure that everyone stands on their ground. But the argument here has always been that definitely the NFA states that we will take our time, we will do our stuff. And these are not words from my own head, are words that are quoted, that is from the association sources that are saying that they will take their time in order to make sure that football is administered in a proper manner. Some people do believe it, some others don't. And we always wonder, why is that happening? Has it been the curse of Namibian football or what? I don't know. But we still know that it is always going to be one of the biggest stuff that we can see. Before I love and leave you for now, because I will be back after a short while, we need to enjoy some action outside, because the team is ready to pounce. The team is ready to make sure that we get the best coverage in the country right now, and that is the NTV team. So before that, I just wanted to take you back to what we had on the stories today. Of course, we started off, that is with the NSSR league that is starting off, and that is Windhoek Gymnasium and the Windhoek High School that are going to play a pivotal role in terms of the rugby action. Also, what we have in today's one is the Brave Warriors that will be playing today. It's a match that everyone is expecting to watch, everyone is waiting to watch. But of course, we are going to wait for all that. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraiza, I'm not leaving right now. I'll be back in a while.